Peace, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. And I just want to thank you again, like always, just for being here, just for being in this space, sharing this moment with me. I mean, if you can see me and I can see you, obviously we're on the right side of the dirt. And we increase our chance and our opportunity of creating something that is going to grow and something that could possibly be beneficial for not just ourselves, but also something that could be beneficial for the future of our kids, our lineage, whatever it is that you want to develop, you can develop those things. And today what we're talking about is increasing your odds. Um Increasing your odds. So I will propose a question to you on how can you increase your odds. I mean, you might say, well, what do you mean? What type of odds? I mean, whatever type of odds you feel you, you want the odd to be. Whatever things or whatever goals or whatever aspirations that you have, my question to you is, how can you increase your odds? That is an open question that anyone can answer, because as you answer that question, trust and believe, you're going to begin to think about what odds am I against and how do I increase, or how do I put myself in a position to win by increasing my odds. Only those who are honest and those who want to do things different for themselves can really answer that question in its proper perspective. So that's what we're talking about today. So good morning to you. If I can say it to you, because I'm happy to be alive, because there's someone who did not make it last night, someone who wasn't prepared or not prepared. I can't say prepared because you never really prepared for death, but someone who was not able to open their eyes and to see what you can see right now, which is life. Someone was sleeping, or someone just had a situation where they're no longer here again. So, yeah. All right. So, increase your odds. Increase your odds, and I guarantee you, you give yourself more opportunity to develop, and you give yourself a fighting chance. Honestly, so for those that may be new to the platform, and for others who have seen the platform before, just know and understand that you will have words and you will have definition of words in order for you to, kind of see things and see words from a different perspectives, and then define those words. And then we're going to switch it up just a little bit to give you a different contrast on what those words may mean, or what those words and how those words are going to be utilized, and define what the messaging is going to be. So the definition of increase. Again, if there's something that resonates with you, just go ahead and put it inside the chat, just so you allow yourself to see it. I mean, you allow yourself to think it, so you should allow yourself to see it as well. So the definition of increase, it says an instant of growing or making greater, becoming greater, more common, or more frequent. I'm going to say that again. An increase of growing or making greater, becoming greater, more common, or frequent. So the contrast that I want you to pay attention to, I mean, this is like, it can flip and go either way. But the original contrast that I want you to pay attention to was white over red. So an instance of growing. So an instance of growing, more common or more frequent. And even if we looked at red over white, it says or making greater. Or is like giving yourself an opportunity. You're either going to be great or you're not. You're either going to make it happen today or you're not. You're either going to do the things that you know that are required of you to do to be successful, or you're not. And when you get to the or, then you know that you can create it to become greater. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's just flip. Um, so odds. Odd is the chances or likelihood of something happening or being the case. So the chance of something happening or being a case. So the contrast here that I want you to pay attention is likelihood of something happening. Because remember, going back to increase, it says or making greater and becoming greater, or is here as well. It is the chances or likelihood of something happening or being the case. So just even the definitions alone merges and it put pieces of puzzles together, because if it is a or, that means you're giving yourself the opportunity. If it is a or, that means you're acknowledging the options that you have. If it is a or, that means you are making a decision, a conscious decision on what needs to happen in order for that thing to take place. So you're either going to increase those odds or you're not. But we're talking about increasing the odds. And we're talking about increasing the odds. I mean, just looking at the imagery right now itself, how can you increase the odds in this? I mean, that's just an open question. It's not just something for you to stare at, but a question to you. In looking at this image, how can you increase your odds? How can you increase your probability? How can you increase your chances of winning? How can you increase or change the potential of the outcome? By increasing your odds. So let's take a real quick deep dive. And I'm going to tell you where this came from. So we were going on a walk this morning and I had asked a question and I was like, how do you increase your odds? You know, I didn't ask that question. It formulated into that. So me and Joyce was walking around and I was like, you know, because she does scratch offs, and I was like, okay, so do you feel like you've done enough? You know, because that's the only person I know that does scratch offs, and she wins like crazy. And I was like, so how? She was like, I buy it in volume. And I was like, wow, so that's like increasing your odds because you bought it in volume. And it began to change some things in how I saw it, because in order to get more, you're going to have to do more. In order to get more, you're going to have to do more. So you're going to have to know and understand, one, if I'm ever going to accomplish things, I am going to have to increase my activities, whether it is increasing the amount of information that you gather, increasing the amount of classes that you take, or increasing the amount of the way that you think about certain things. In order for you to develop that winning opportunity for yourself, you're going to have to increase something in order for you to develop the increasing of your odds. And how do you do that? In order for you to do it, you have to know your desired outcome, right? Because knowing your desired outcome actually puts you in a position to say, you know what? If I want to win $100, if I want to even make $100, I am going to have to do something. I'm going to have to increase something. You're either going to have to sell one thing 100 times, or you're going to have to sell one thing for $100, or you're going to have to sell 10 things. You see how it is? You're going to have to increase something in order for you to increase your odds to reaching that particular goal. But you're going to have to know what that goal is and having that desired outcome. Because when it comes to getting to that point of success, the power is in the clarity. The power is knowing and understanding what the outcome is. because the clearer that you are with the desired outcome, the easier that it would be in order for you to take actionable steps that you need in order to achieve it. Because a lot of times we may get, taken off course. And when we're taking off course, we're no longer in line with the blessings that we have. Or when we get taken off course, we're no longer in line with the desired outcome. But remember, there is power in clarity. There is power in what the odds were that you're going to need to increase in order for you to reach the goal, or in order for you to reach your desired outcome. And when you do that, knowing what that desired outcome is, that is when you take that focus and you give the right amount of energy to that focus or that focal point, and then you will then increase your ability to actually increase your odds with that goal. Because when you make the do something, you're going to have to understand that there is a level of commitment that has to be attached to that decision. And you're going to have to make a decision and commit to it at the same time. Because a lot of times we make decisions with the lack of commitment. And when we make decisions with lack of commitment, we're actually not allowing ourselves to increase those odds, and we're not allowing ourselves to actually achieve that desired goal, because there is no there's no power behind it. Because there's power in commitment. There's power in clarity. So when you make that decision, ensure that you attach commitment to it as well, because once you know what your goal is, you're going to have that undying commitment in order for you to get rid of the doubt, in order for you to work and to walk and to move with power, and to move and to move with power and have that desired passion attached to it. Because knowing there is greatness inside of you and actually being great is two different things. You may know that you're great, but you don't have a commitment to that greatness. So therefore, getting to the point of the journey may be harder for you to get to because of the self-doubt that you've placed on yourself. And because of that self-doubt and that self-sabotage that you placed on yourself, you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to change your limited beliefs. Sometimes changing your limited beliefs is, I know we all heard it before, but it's easier said than done. So when are you going to do it? If it's easier said than done, then when are you going to increase your opportunity of actually getting it done? Changing your limited beliefs is actually you looking at it and knowing and identifying what it actually is to you. Because procrastinating and pulling back and even sabotaging yourself, you're going to have to look at it from a clear lens. You're going to have to look at it for what it is and not for what somebody else did or what somebody else is doing. Those are your limited beliefs. People have their own limited beliefs, but when you take on and encounter someone else's limited beliefs and you take it on as your own, you begin to have those same limited beliefs for yourself. And you sabotage yourself. You place doubt on yourself. You will never get to the mountaintop of accomplishing things in order for you to see as far as you can to say, you know what? If I've done it before, I have the opportunity to do it again. But no one understands that changing your beliefs is changing the conflict that's within inside of you. That inner conflict of knowing what you want to do and being afraid of doing it. And actually begin to show up for yourself. There's a lot of people, and a lot of us sometimes we show up for a lot of other people, but we don't show up for ourselves. That may hurt by itself, just hearing that. How many of us know people that show up for a lot of other people, but it's hard for them to show up for themselves? So what I want you to do is to understand that your desired outcome or your goal should be the same as your beliefs. And I'm going to say that again. Your desired outcome and your goals that you want to achieve should be the same as your belief. Because if I believe that I'm going to do this, I'm just throwing it out there. If I believe that I'm going to have this done by 3:00, so therefore there are systems that I have to put in place in order for me to accomplish that goal. So I have to believe more in me and believe more in time management in order for that to take place. So my desired goals and my desire to achieve this thing has to match my beliefs that it's going to get done by that desired time. But in order for me to increase my odds, I have to know that I can do it. So I'm changing my beliefs of, I know I'm not going to get it done, but I have strong feelings that this is not going to get done. Change that. And then watch those things happen for you in your life. Watch those goals begin to become achievements. Because a lot of times we have more goals than we have of achievements. Because those goals that you have yet to been achieved. Those are really just ideas. They're still in a form of ideas. They're still in a form of concepts. And when they stay in the form of ideas and concepts, those things will never be achieved until you start to work on them. And as you work on them, just know that you don't have to do it alone. Getting around the right people. There's a big difference between getting around people and getting around the right people. Because you may have people in your life that just want to be around you, but they don't actually build you up, or they don't actually, honestly, do you need a lot of people around you? No. I mean, you got people that's good, that feel good by themselves. But when you're around the right people that is around you at the right moment, doesn't necessarily mean you have to be around someone all the time. But just having the right person around you, or having the right people around you, that does matter. Because they may be able to assist you or put you in a place of generating, good options for you. Because in the end, the decision is still going to be yours. But they have the ability to spark thought and to allow you to have your point of view. But if they have a level of concern with you, then the right person will actually voice their concerns and say, you know what? I this is how I see it. But at the end, I'm still with whatever decision that you make, but I still want you to know how I feel. That's getting around the right type of person, because they're going to have that continuous types of thoughts for you because they want you to win. Getting around the right person and those positive thinkers and people that have actions in life that can celebrate with you, or the right people that can actually tell you when you're doing something that could have been done different. That's just a nice way of saying it. Telling you about yourself when there's something that you could have done different. That could possibly definitely increase your odds of winning, or increase your odds of being successful, by being around people that understand that accountability is a two-way street. It's very interchangeable. Because those things those things allow them to expose you to a new way of thinking. And when you are exposed to a new way of thinking, it actually begins to increase your odds of positive thinking. But that's you knowing that being around the right person, or being around the right mentor, or just being around or within the right company is going to allow you to know and understand that I am okay. And I understand that I have a responsibility with myself. And I'm cool with knowing that. But now, increase your odds. Don't be afraid of trying. Don't be afraid of starting. Don't be afraid of learning. And don't be afraid to tell you that you got it. So definitely appreciate you for being here. Appreciate you for just wanting to be in this space. And remember, consistency can definitely create currency. Y'all be blessed. Peace.